Horror games have long captivated gamers, offering thrilling experiences filled with suspense and terror. But what exactly draws players to these spine-chilling adventures? Delving into the depths of human psychology, horror games provide a unique opportunity to confront our deepest fears in a controlled environment.
Please! Give me your hand. Help me! I got you. Give me your other hand.
Horror games have in fact been around since the early days of video gaming, with their roots dating back to as far as the 1970s and 1980s. However, the concept of horror-themed video games didn't fully emerge until the 1980s and early 1990s, which coincided with advancements in technology and gaming hardware. The title often credited as the very first horror video game is Haunted House, which was released in 1981 for the Atari 2600 console. Developed by Atari, Haunted House was a simple but atmospheric game where players navigated a maze-like haunted mansion while avoiding traps and monsters. Despite its primitive graphics and limited gameplay mechanics by modern standards, Haunted House laid the foundation for future horror games with its introduction of elements such as eerie environments, suspenseful gameplay, and the theme of exploring haunted locations. While Haunted House is often cited as the first horror game, it's important to note that the concept of horror-themed video games predates it in other forms, such as text-based adventure games like The Lurking Horror in 1987, and early arcade games like Nightmare in 1982. However, Haunted House is significant for popularizing the horror genre in video games and influencing the development of future horror titles. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, horror games continued to evolve alongside advancements in gaming technology and storytelling techniques. Games like Alone in the Dark, 1992, and Resident Evil, 1996 are often credited with popularizing the survival horror genre and introducing elements such as atmospheric tension, puzzle solving, and resource management. Since then, horror games have become a prominent and diverse genre within the gaming industry, encompassing various subgenres such as psychological horror, action horror, and narrative-driven horror. Why do we enjoy subjecting ourselves to horror games when true horror is something no one wants to experience? It seems easier to observe terrifying scenarios from a safe distance through mediums like scary movies or auditory creepypastas. However, despite this natural inclination, humanity has devised numerous ways to experience nightmares without truly facing them. One of the most interactive and immersive methods is through video games. Despite my own fears, I enjoy horror games and horror movies alike. So what compels us to actively participate in horror gaming experiences rather than merely observing them? The answer lies in our psychology. There's a scientific basis to our enjoyment of fear. Studies on the science of fear suggest that it provides humans with a natural high. When we experience fear, our adrenaline rises, endorphins and dopamine are released, and we experience a rush of excitement. Games like Silent Hill capitalize on this anticipation building up tension before delivering a payoff that keeps players coming back for more. This phenomenon is known as recreational fear, and it's something that horror author and psychologist Matthias Klassen has extensively studied. Horror games provide a visual medium for us to confront our fears, insecurities, and sins. They offer insights into the human psyche, exploring existential themes and personal demons, whether it's facing the existential dread of Silent Hill 2 or confronting personal trauma in Earthbound. Horror games immerse players in emotional conflicts they wouldn't willingly face in real life. But is there a limit to how immersed we should become in these experiences? The advent of VR horror games raises this question. While virtual reality offers unparalleled immersion, it can also blur the line between fiction and reality, leading to genuine fear rather than recreational fear. Psychologist Colton Scrivener refers to this as the horror sweet spot, where experiences are carefully calibrated to provide just the right amount of fear without crossing into genuine terror. Zombies, with their blend of visceral horror and existential dread, epitomize the allure of the horror genre. They tap into our morbid curiosity about bodily injuries, violence, predators, and the paranormal, making zombie horror a compelling experience for many. Despite the negative emotions they evoke, horror games offer a cathartic experience that reminds us why we love the genre, drawing us back time and time again. For people who don't enjoy horror games, their perspective on them can vary widely. Some may find horror games too intense or frightening, leading to feelings of discomfort, anxiety, or even fear. Others might simply not be interested in the themes or gameplay mechanics typically found in horror games. From their viewpoint, horror games might seem unnecessary or unpleasant, and they may prefer to spend their time on other types of games that align more with their preferences and comfort levels. They might perceive horror games as overly focused on shock value or gore, lacking in meaningful gameplay or storytelling, or simply not enjoyable to play. For some individuals, the idea of deliberately subjecting themselves to fear and anxiety in a virtual environment may not hold any appeal. They may prefer games that offer a more relaxed or upbeat experiences, such as puzzle games, simulation games, or adventure games with lighter themes.
And we've got their stabilizing plates broken down. Time to clean things up.
Through the lens of gaming, we confront our demons, explore the darker aspects of humanity, and experience the thrill of overcoming fear in a safe and controlled environment. As the genre continues to evolve and innovate, pushing the boundaries of storytelling and technology, one thing remains clear. Our fascination with horror games is as irresistible as the fear that keeps us coming back for more. So next time you feel the urge to push past the fear and dive into the unknown, remember, in the realm of horror games, the only limit is your imagination. Thank you for watching.